Hi, my name is Kelly Alter. I'm an architect at the Collaborative, and I'm very excited to talk to you today about architecture. So I have my list of questions, and I'll read off the question and then answer them. What is your professional name and your occupation? So my professional title is Architect and Healthcare and Wellness Design Lead, and my occupation is Architect. How many years have you been with the company and/or in your profession? So I've been with my company for only about 4 months at the Collaborative, and before that, for 13 and a half years, I was at an architecture firm in Chicago called Eckenhoff Saunders Architects. Tell us about what you do in your job. So I think my job is pretty cool because I get to problem solve and be creative. So I get to talk to clients and listen to their needs, ask them questions, understand what they want in a space, and then I get to make that a reality. So first I work in 2 dimensions on a plan, and then I look at that, how that might look in 3 dimensions. And I get to think about what the spaces look like, how they're connected, how they flow together. And it's just a really great way of combining logic, problem solving, creativity, and critical thinking. What sparked your interest in your career? So I had a very strong interest at a young age in art. I would take a lot of art classes at the art museum, but I also had a strong interest in math. So math was one of my favorite subjects in school. And I think it was more about problem solving and being able to come up with solutions than, I guess, numbers. So architecture was a really good combination of the 2. And I also loved doing things in 3 dimensions. So I did a lot of ceramics. My dad's in construction, so we would build stuff together. So that kind of influenced why I chose this career. What training did you receive? I went to a 4-year undergrad program at Miami University. And then I went to 2 more years of school. So I went to college, and then I got a master's degree after that, also at Miami, in architecture also. So an undergrad and a graduate degree in architecture. And then after that, I went to work for this firm in Chicago, and I had to work for a certain number of years before I'd be eligible to take my exams. And then I took my exams, and I became a licensed architect. What is one fact about you or your career? So a fun fact about me is that I like to rock climb. I find it's a really fun, I do indoor rock climbing. It's a really fun way of problem solving in 3D, getting to be with people and collaborate. And I just really enjoy it. And also I skateboard. What advice would you give to young women about pursuing a career in STEM? I would say, if you have an interest in any of these different fields, don't let anything get in your way. Just go ahead and pursue it. Like, you can do this, and don't worry about what other people, if there's nobody that looks like you in the field, that's not a problem. Do it anyway. What do you love about STEM? I love that it combines some of the different areas of STEM are combined and can create these really cool careers. For example, architecture involves design and critical thinking and math. Engineering involves math and problem solving also. So I just think it's kind of neat that there's these intersections. What advice would you give your 18-year-old self? I would tell my 18-year-old self, don't worry what other people think about you. Just be yourself, be authentic, pursue what you like, and be nice to people. And it just doesn't matter what they think. Or it matters what they think, but it doesn't matter. It shouldn't influence how you feel about yourself. So be confident in yourself. If you weren't going to do this career, what would you do as a backup plan? So when I was a kid, I thought I'd be a lawyer, an architect, or an artist. And I still think those are great options. I love that I became an architect. But there's also this new field called UX design, so user experience design, and they design like apps or the way you might experience a space. They might design that. And it's kind of a great combination of problem solving and creativity, which is what I love about architecture, but it wasn't around when I was looking at careers. So if you're interested in those areas, you might want to look into that because it's also a very emerging field and there's a need for people. Why do you think informal science education is important? For example, going to places like the Science Center. So I'm a lifelong learner. I just love learning. So I think we can apply what we learn at some place like Imagination Station to anything. Like you might find that years later you remember how that worked, and you can apply it to some architecture design or um, any field you end up in. So I just think it's a really nice, it's like really fun to learn, and I'm guessing you probably think that too if you're involved with this event. I love this one. Tell us your favorite quote and your favorite book. So one of my heroes is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and she has this great quote that says, "So often in life, things that you regard as an impediment turn out to be a great good fortune." So I think of her life. First of all, she was a lawyer. She was at the top of her class, and she couldn't get a job out of school because there was so much injustice and prejudice against women in that field. And it took her down a different path, but that path led her to become a Supreme Court justice, which it's kind of amazing. She probably wouldn't have gone down that path if she, gone down a traditional path and become a partner at some law firm and made a bunch of money. And not that making money is great, but she was able to help tons of women and influence the way that the world works, basically. So her path was unique, and it led to something much better than it might have been alternatively. And I think this applies to my situation because I'm more of a sensitive person, and I always thought that was a weakness because I would be hurt by things, or I would be too worried about what people, how they were feeling. But I've actually found that that's one of my greatest strengths, is being a sensitive person. Makes me a better leader, makes me a better friend and coworker. So sometimes something you think is a weakness becomes a strength. What is one piece of advice you would give to a young girl? I guess I would just say, don't be afraid to pursue what you love. Don't worry about what people think. You are amazing and you can do it. So remember that you should have faith in yourself, and if you don't see anybody that looks like you in your field, in your industry, don't worry about it. That will change or it won't, and it just doesn't matter. Like, you will prove that you deserve to be there and that you have something to bring to the table. So keep pursuing your passions, and keep pursuing STEM. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy this event. Bye.